Hey, 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 what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a great day. Kip here, your whiskey tour guide, and it is time for another Thursday Night Throwdown. And we are working our way in our bottled in bond tournament. We started with, what did we start with? 16? 16 in our bracket of bottled in bond whiskeys. We are now in the quarterfinals. E.H. Taylor last week made it on to the final four. And today, a matchup of a couple maybe that weren't sure. Took out a couple of big boys like Henry McKenna. But this is the Old Pepper Rye bottled in bond. Get this guy a little pour up in here. And a newcomer in the bottled in bond category, the Bullet bottled in bond. We know the rules of bottled in bond. We've talked about that. We know that they have to be distilled from a single distilling season. We know that it has to be a minimum of at least 4 years old. It can be older than that, obviously, but it has to at least hit that 4-year mark. It is always bottled at exactly 100 proof. And so one of the fun things about doing bottled in bond blinds is you're really comparing apples to apples in a closer sense. Obviously, the mash bill can be different. We've got a straight bourbon and a straight rye that we're dealing with. We've had malt whiskeys that we've been dealing with. So you can have that category depending on the mash bill, and you could have lengthier age. And, some would argue that, a 4-year and a 10-year bottle and bond are going to be radically different. And you may or you may not be correct. That kind of depends. But in many regards, we know that whoever names here, they've made it. They made it in a single run, sat for at least 4 years. It's at 100 proof. So there's a lot of variables that are the same. And that helps make it kind of an apples to apples type of comparison, other than comparing a 92 proof bourbon, small batch bourbon to a 136 proof Jack Daniel's single barrel. I mean, they're not really the same in that regard. All right. Anyway, so cup 1, cup 2. I don't think I showed you that. They were set up. 1's over here. 2 is over here. Let's go in. Let's take the nose. Some fruit notes. Very dusty. Sawdust woodiness. Citrus. I feel like this, I already think this is probably the bourbon, but it doesn't have a lot of the vanillas caramels, but it has kind of everything else that I'm thinking of. But that's just a initial. Okay, let's go with this one. It's a little bit of a lighter nose, just not as dominant. There's a little bit of sweetness there, maybe a hint of rye. Maybe I've talked myself into these already. I'm not sure. This one definitely has a stronger nose. It's a vibrant aroma. This one's a little bit more subtle on the aroma. So, I don't know. Let's see. Let's get into the palate. Both have really nice legs. I don't know if you can see that, but both of them playing really nice. All right, let's go in for this one. Nice mouthfeel. I do get a decent amount of citrus zest, like orange or lemon zest, peel. There's a subtle sweetness. I do get a little bit of rye spiciness on the palate. Not dominant, but it's there. Again, for me, it's more citrus zest forward than it is like vanilla caramel forward. Yeah, fruit. Fruit is what I get out of that guy for the most part. That would be the dominant profile. Little mouth rinse. Let's go and see what we got here. This has got more classic bourbon mouthfeel and flavor profile. So my nose, I may have had these completely opposite on my nose. Don't know. Again, we're shooting in the dark here, right? But this one has more classic bourbon-y, a little bit of that sweetness, a little bit of that woodiness. A little bit of that vanilla in there. I don't really get any citrus notes on this one. These are completely different. And again, a strong rye and a strong bourbon in any regards should be different. Just like a single malt's going to stand out. It should in many regards. But these are definitely different. They carry different profiles. Go back in one more time. Let's pick a winner to face off in the final four. Start here this time. Dry, dusty, light sweetness. It's got barrel character. Good mouthfeel, nice finish. Great legs, solid. All right, last time, going over here. Okay. Now, last week, for the E.H. Taylor and the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond, to me, two of the big heavyweights. E.H. Taylor, one of my all-time favorites, love it. Heaven Hill, one of the greatest values now that I think you can find. Your Sam's and Costco's, a lot of times will have the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond for like $35-$40. I mean, that's a daily drinker if there ever was one. Maybe not budget level like the Evan Williams or some of those, but I mean, what a great value. And it's accessible now. But for the first time, I went in after I did what I just did, and I did a second or a final sit back. It's the first time I'd ever done that, and I changed my mind. Because I was actually leaning towards the Heaven Hill, and I was like, yeah, you want to just do one more because they were so close. And that last taste changed me. And I don't know if that was fair or not, but that's what we did. And I'm tempted to do that again today, but I'm not going to. I'm going to, right? We've set a new precedent. See, and it did it again. This one has felt a little bit better, tasted a little bit better. Legs, aroma. Aroma was actually light on this one. The aroma was strong on this one, stronger. This one I thought had more mouthfeel, just more flavor kick until I get to this last moment. And then I'm like, oh man, this one's really nice. So I'm going to pick one. I don't know that it matters. I'm in the sense of they're both actually really good. I love Old Pepper. They also have a Bottled and Bond bourbon, which we didn't include in this tournament because it would have just gone on forever. I had to narrow it down some. But I love what Old Pepper's doing. I think they're doing great. Bullet gets a lot of hate. Just depends on, kind of some of their stuff. Their regular bourbon, their rye, everybody knows their rye. It's the number one selling rye in the world. But with, MGP, their 10-year and their cast strength to me are dynamite. This came out, I don't know, last year or so. This is great. This has been a fantastic whiskey, and I think really proves that Bullet does have the chops in the whiskey world. And so they're both tasty, but I think, who knows how long this video is going right now. But I think today, right now, I'm going to go this one. There's just a kick of something. This one has great mouthfeel. This one had a good palate feel. It had a good classic mouthfeel, taste profile that you would expect. Incredible. This one The edge comes, the nose was just a little bit more prominent. And then after a few sips, as the palate just begins to warm up and do its thing, I just like what this one was giving. The first couple sips on this one was a little just even, where this one did pop a little bit quicker on the palate. But over the course of the drinks, this one stood out a little bit more. They're both great. I know I say that every time. I'm not trying to put any of the whiskey down. I think all our beloved whiskeys are phenomenal, and they all have their place and time. But today, I am going to take this one, and it is this one. So I was actually wrong in my initial assessment. When I first nosed them, this one had a great nose, but it was sweeter, dustier. I kind of put it this one. This one was a lighter nose, with maybe just that hint of what I thought was rye spice. And so in my head, I thought these may have been opposite already, kind of separate from what they were. But as I've tasted them, like I said, this one, it's got some nice citrus. I got a little bit of citrus, got some of that vanilla coming through. The nose was muted a little bit. The palate was exceptional. It's really good. But the more that I got into it, the nose on this one was just, it was more full. It was a bouquet, where this one you had to kind of struggle to get a nose. And again, I was kind of leaning here. And then I another sip, I changed. This one just felt like it carried a little bit more weight. So Old Pepper Rye, moving on to our final four. We've got 2 more slots, and then we get into it. So hope you guys are enjoying this. Drop a comment, give a like, follow, subscribe, all those beautiful things. Let us know what you think. We appreciate you all. Cheers.